Unit 10 Review, Question 22. A circular pool has a diameter of 12 feet, and we are asked to find the area of the bottom of the pool, and we're told to use 3.14 for pi and round our answer to 2 decimal places. Okay, so let's draw a quick picture. Here's the pool. It's circular. It has a diameter of 12 feet. So that means the distance from one side to the other going through the center is 12 feet. Okay. Now here's our formula for the area of a circle. So we have area equals pi times r squared. We're told to use 3.14 for pi. And the only value we need to find from the diagram or the given information is the radius. So notice they gave us the diameter. The diameter is the distance all the way across. The radius is the distance from the center to one side. So notice either one of these could be considered the radius. They would both be half the diameter. So the radius is the diameter over 2, which is 6. Okay, so you need to divide the diameter by 2 before you put it in this formula. So 3.14 times 6 squared, and that is 3.14 times 6 squared equals 113.04. 113.04, and that's feet, and it's square feet because it's the area of the bottom of the pool. Let's look at the next one. 23. Find the perimeter and the area of the figure below. Include units in your answers. Okay. So we're given this shape, and we are given one value, 6.2 miles. And this shape looks like a square, and when they just label one side and not the other, we can assume that they are telling us that this is a square. Okay. So the perimeter of a square, there's a formula for it, but notice every side is 6.2 miles. So to go from start to finish, we'd go around 6.2 miles 4 times. We can add them up, and notice that this is equivalent to multiplying 4 times 6.2. Okay, and you're given this formula that the perimeter of a square is 4 times the side. To memorize that is a little bit silly because you could always just add up the sides and then use your knowledge of multiplication. So 4 times 6.2 is 24.8. And that's going to be miles because it's a linear distance of the perimeter. Now, what is the area? Well, the area is going to be side times side. Okay, you could think of cutting this into 6.2 equal pieces. Okay, and you could also think of it as a square is a type of rectangle. So it's the length times the width for a rectangle. So you multiply 6.2 times itself. 6.2 times 6.2 is 38.44, and this would be miles squared. So this is another way we indicate the square unit. This means we're measuring this in little square miles. Let's look at the next one. 24. Find the perimeter and the area of the figure below. Include units in your answer. Okay. So I'm intentionally giving you problems where you have to find both of them because you don't need all of these numbers to find the perimeter, and you also don't need all of them to find the area. So you need to be able to determine what values you need in each case. So for the perimeter, you want to find the distance around the boundary. Well, since this is a parallelogram, this side is the same as this side, and this side is the same length as this side. So going all the way around, we have 10 plus 9.85 plus 10 plus 9.85, And yes, there's a fancy formula somewhere that says you can do 2 times one length plus 2 times the other length. Okay, but notice if you just use the idea of perimeter, you don't have to remember special formulas. Okay, so 10 plus 9.85 plus 10 plus 9.85 equals 39.7. And it's linear units, and they are centimeters. The area of a parallelogram is base times height. Okay. Now, remember, the height is the perpendicular distance, the straight distance between two bases. Okay, so I'm given this information. This is actually my height relative to the base of 10. I can't use 9.85 because I'm not told what this distance straight across is. Okay, I don't need this distance at all to find the area. So the area is going to be the base of 10 times the height, which equals 90, in this case, square centimeters, because I'm measuring area, the amount of squares that fill up the parallelogram. Let's look at the next one. Okay. Find the perimeter and area of the triangle. Okay. So the perimeter, once again, all you need for a perimeter is to add up the sides. There's 3 sides, we're given them all. So it's 5.4 plus 7.8 plus 8. Which is 21.2, and our units are yards. Okay. Now the area is 1/2 times the base times the height. Okay. Now notice we're given the height for this side. If we use this side as the base, the distance from this side to the opposite vertex, the highest part, is 5 yards, going straight up. So we need to use these 2 pieces of information, but we don't need these. So it's 1/2 times 8 times 5. Okay, that'll be 20, but let's just practice putting it in the calculator. 1 divided by 2 times 8 times 5. Gives us 20, and our units are square yards, since we're measuring the number of square yards that could fill this area. 26, still finding the area in the perimeter. Now we have to recognize that this is a trapezoid. We already found the area of one of these. The perimeter, notice that it has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. We're given all of them, so we're just going to add up the sides. Okay, so using the calculator, that's 5.1 plus 8 plus 6.4 plus 3. And we have 22.5 meters. Okay. Again, linear distance around this uses one-dimensional measure of meters. Now let's find the area. So this is 1/2 the sum of the bases. Doesn't matter which one we call base 1 or base 2, times the height. Okay. And remember, we need the height needs to be the distance between the bases, and it looks like we're given the distance between these 2 bases. The bases also are parallel, whereas these sides aren't parallel. Okay, so we need this, this, and this number. Okay, so we have 1/2. Again, 3 plus 8, you could write 3 plus 8 or 8 plus 3, it won't matter. So it doesn't matter which one is base 1 or base 2, times the height. Now let's put this in the calculator. Okay. Make sure if you're going to put this whole thing in at once, this goes in parentheses. So 1 divided by 2, parentheses, oops, calculator didn't like that. 1 divided by 2 times, parentheses, 3 plus 8, close parentheses, times 5. Okay. So I'm checking that it turned out okay. So this calculator wanted me to put multiplication. Your TI won't care. and I get 27.5. The units were meters, so the square units are meters squared.